Hey everybody, this is the Uke Revolution. We're back with the first lesson of 2025, and I always like to start the year with something kind of like fun and celebratory because January can be kind of a blue month. So today we're going to learn Joy to the World by Three Dog Night, aka Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. It's a really fun song to play. We're going to learn the chord shapes, the chords that you need to play each part of the song. I'll give you some strum ideas, and I'll give you a demo of each part of the song. I'm just coming off of a cold, and my vocal cords are a bit inflamed from being sick, having a cold virus. So I'm taking it a bit easy on my vocal cords today. If you want the PDF song sheet for this song, it is available in the member library, and you can join as a member on either Ko-fi or Patreon. Ko-fi's a preferred site for me personally, but I know a lot of people are familiar with Patreon, so that's available too. So you can check the caption below to find links to the membership programs on their respective sites and all the information there. Make sure you read all of the information before you join. Okay, let's get into it. We have D, C, D7, G, B flat, F, A7, G7, and E. And then we've got this little walk-up thing, and these are the chords I suggest to use it for. This is the bow, 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 Jeremiah was a bullfrog, bow, 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 that little down, down, down thing that happens frequently in this song. We're going to use C, C sharp, and D. So instead of using the regular C and D shapes and like some sort of C sharp, a really efficient, easy way to play this is with this big 4-finger shape, a movable chord shape. So you got the bottom 2 strings of the 3rd fret, the 4th fret, the C string, and the 5th fret, the G string. This is a C, and then you just move it up fret by fret to play that walk up. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. We do it quite a lot, right? So this is the recommended way to do it. So I'm going to play a verse real quick before I put the verse chord layout on the screen because it looks a little bit intimidating. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but I helped him drink his wine. He always has some mighty fine wine. Now that you've heard it one time, see, that looks kind of gross, right? So in between all these forward slashes, like usual, we have 4 beats. There's some of the counting over top of a little bit just to like give you the guidance for that walk up thing, some landmark counts to go by. And if you see a period or a dot, that's no chord. We're not playing any chord there. If you see a chord name or a hyphen, that's 1 beat, unless you've got a chord by itself in between 2 forward slashes. And then that chord is all 4 beats of that measure. It's the only chord there. So for the verses on this 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2 in the second bar where there's no chord, that's the Jeremiah was a bullfrog. There's just lyrics there. And we'll see that later. We'll see the chords over the lyrics later like we usually do in these lessons. So we've got the C, C sharp, D. That walk up is happening on 3 and then the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got, after you hit that D, you're going to just have a little bit of a pause. D7 for 2, G for 2, B flat for 2, D for 2, A7 for 2, and D for 4. And then at the end of verse 1 and verse 3, we have this little tag. It's a G7 for 2, A7 for 2, and D for 4. So it doesn't come at the end of verse 2, only verse 1 and 3. So if we play this slowly with just a down strum, it'll sound like this. I'm going to count 4, and then we'll start with this 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, walk up. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, walk it up. 2, D7, G, B flat, D, A7, D, 2, 3, 4. G7, A7, D. How might we strum it? Let's see. Because you got like all these tricky rhythms, the down strum like that it does work really well while you're learning it. Otherwise, You can use the island strum, like a chunky island strum, down, chunk up, chunk up. This works well for bars that have one chord, like that D on the end of line 2, or you can split it up over the bars that have 2 chords in them. And in that case, you will play down chunk for the first chord in a bar and up, chunk up for the second chord in a bar. And then we've got a couple that are good for those chords that have 2 beats. Down, up, chunk up, or down, chunk, down, chunk. I'll play like the second 2 lines with the down, up, chunk up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, down, up, chunk up, 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 down, up, chunk up. G7, A7, D. Basically, this last one, down chunk, is pretty much just a down strum like we were doing to practice the first time, but you're going to chunk on the 2 and the 4 instead of strumming on the 2 and the 4. Okay, I want to show you the chorus and bridge chords real quick. So the chorus is the joy to the world. We have D for 4, A7 for 4, D for 4. And then for the end of the chorus, we're ending it the way that we end a verse. So we have D for 2, D7 for 2, G for 2, B flat for 2, D for 2, A7 for 2, D for 2, and then here is the walk up that's going to lead us into the next verse. So I'm going to play these chords with the island strum for the first line and with that down, up, chunk up for the second line, and when we get here to the walk up, it'll just be down strums. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, chunk up, down, chunk up, down, chunk up. Chunk up, down, chunk up, chunk up, down, chunk up, chunk up, down, 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 Jeremiah was a bullfrog. And then we've got the bridge. So this is a little teeny bit of a key change modulation situation they're doing. We've got E for 4, D for 2, and A for 2, and that repeats 4 times. This is the joy to the world, all the boys and girls. For this little practice session right now with just the chords, we're just going to play island strum and then put a couple of down strums here for the D and the A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, E. D, D, A, E. D, D, A, E. D, D, A, E. D, D, A. And I'm doing my old muscle memory controversial habit of putting my thumb over the top. Obviously, the standard way to play is like this. E, D. Let me see if this sounds right with the E7. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Yeah, I think you could put E7 there if you don't want to play an E. It's not perfect, but it doesn't sound wrong either. Okay, let's look at some lyrics. So here we have the beginning of the song, we have the intro, the verse, and the chorus. So for the intro, we have kind of the end of a verse or a chorus. We have D for 2, C for 2, G for 2, B flat for 2, F for 2, and then we've got that walk up to lead into verse 1. 1, 2, 3, 4 on the D. Here we go. Down, up, chunk up, 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 down, down. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but helped him drink his wine. Always has somebody fine wine. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls now. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. I was the king of the world, or whatever that next verse is. There's really no interludes or anything in this song. Whenever you got that, you know a verse is about to happen. On those places where there's no chorus, it's just the lyric, I sometimes keep time by knocking or patting the uke a little bit. So even though there's no chord happening, you can still have the rhythm happening. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. So I'm tapping on the 2 and the 4. And let's look at the chorus transitioning to the bridge. So on this bridge part, we can just strum normally. Let me play it normally, and then I'll play it more like the way the band plays it in the original production, where actually this E chord will not come until the second beat of the bar that it's in, and it will come right over that first lyric. But it can be a bit tricky to play, so I just notated it like really plainly here with just the E starting on the 1. Let me play it normally one time with the E coming on the 1, and then I'll play it more like they do in the original production. That's a bit trickier, and I'll show you how you can do that. And I'm going to start with this line that comes from the chorus before it, so we can see the transition from the chorus to the bridge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 on the D. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy to the world. Joy to you and me. Okay, if I play this, so I don't play the E until the second beat, and I'm doing this kind of strum, which is, we're going to be quiet for the first beat, and then we've got down, up, down, up. So I'll play it one time, and then I'll break down this strum for you, kind of explain it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 on the D. Fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls. Joy to the world. To you and me. So we're waiting until the second beat to play the E, and this is kind of how they do it in the original production. So to help me keep track of those beats, I do the same thing again. I'm like patting or tapping before playing the E. 1, 2. It's kind of like a modified island strum. So we've got down on 2, and then up, down, up on and 4 and. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So in this case, if we're waiting to play the E on 2, then all of these E's, they're going to come right over that first lyric. And that's what that little asterisk is about. On the song sheet, the little asterisk is on this E has a note about playing the E on the 1 or playing the E on the 2. So I'm going to play the whole thing. I'm not at 100% voice, but I am going to play the whole thing. I'm just not really going to sing it full out all the time. I'm going to do what we call marking. It'll be a lot of falsetto voice. And when we get to the bridge, I will play it so that the E comes on the 2 right over the lyric instead of on the 1. I think that's it. Yeah. Let's hit it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and playing on the intro with the D. Here we go. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, was a good friend of mine. Never understood a single word he said, but helped him drink his wine. He always has some mighty fine wine, singing joy to the world. All the boys and girls out, joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. If I were the king of the world, tell you what I'd do. I'd throw away the cars and the bars and the wars, and I make sweet love to you. Joy to the world. All the boys and girls out. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. So we just play the chorus again. love to have my fun. I'm a high life flyer and a rainbow rider, straight shooting son of a gun. I said a straight shooting son of a gun. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls out. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls out. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Here's the bridge. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls. Joy to the world, joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls out. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Joy to the world, all the boys and girls out. Joy to the fishes in the deep blue sea. Joy to you and me. Cha cha cha. Hey. Thanks for hanging out making music with me, everybody. If you made it to the end of the video, you get extra 2,000 points. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'm here to help, and I respond to all comments on YouTube that are relevant to the channel or to the lesson. And I'll see you next time, hopefully back in better voice with another lesson. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time. Peace out, everybody. Bye-bye.